I'm out in the garage with the Mercury. I'm going to get the interior ready because I ordered more carpet for it. Earlier on, I thought I could get away keeping this style of carpet. It's aftermarket. It's supposedly stamped to fit the original contours, hills, and valleys of the floor. And for the most part, it fits. Until you get into the rear of it, and then it does a whole lasagna noodle effect. Now the stock seats that I painted, it covered the corners because they're a little bit bigger, so it wasn't really much of an issue. But when I put these seats in, well, the fronts ain't a problem, but the rear, because they're a little bit smaller on the corners, it exposes, the underneath exposes that, so I really don't want to have that going on. So I'm going to take the seats out. I could probably just flip the bottom part up. It doesn't have to come out completely. But these seats got to come out. This carpet's got to come out. I won't throw it away just yet. I'll most likely just fold it up and tuck it away somewhere for the time being. For the most part, this carpet's usable. If not, maybe give it to another project that requires red carpet. Won't throw away this stuff just yet, but I ordered more carpet that's coming in the mail probably this week. It's got the right color, but more importantly, it's got the right shade to it. It's coming in on a 12 foot by 7. Yeah, 12 by 7. So it should be enough. 12 feet by 7 feet. Should be, if anything, probably more than enough, but it's coming out from Georgia, so I better order more than not have enough. So while that comes in the mail, I'm going to get these seats out and get the carpet out. And that'll make probably the 100th time I took these seats in and out, but I don't care. You do it so often, it's not much of a pain in the ass. More so when I got the seat belts the way they're supposed to be, at least the way I like them. I can just do that, not catch anything, not catch on the seat belts. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll pull this out. And I'll get back to you guys when I'm taking the interior down to the floor again. Well, it's all out now. Wasn't too difficult, just kind of awkward. Black stuff is pure 15, and I just applied that to where it's needed the most. Still areas need to be hit by that, but that can wait. For now, I'm focusing on the interior, get the way I want it to look like. So once I get the carpet in, then I get the seats on, I'll do the interior, or the ceiling I mean, and do the sides. Once they're all finished, I'll worry about doing body work on this car, applying pure 15 and filler and all that jazz to make it all good and kosher. Might have to hit some areas with more dye, vinyl dye. Could use another coat or two. Especially here, it's kind of orange, so it could use a good coat or two of more of that seam Firethorn red. I'm not going to paint this red or anything. There's no point. I'm not going to do the middle area here with pure 15. This is all good. The floor is good. I'm going to hit the floor with more pure 15, it'll be on the underside, so I could always use another coat. And one more thing, I applied, this is this floor mats I got at Menards, plastic floor mats. So if water should ever leak through the windows and get the top part wet, it won't get the floor underneath moist. At least that's the idea. If any water seeps in through the carpet from the top down, it'll get stopped by this. Because I wish I had a good example of the material that was here, that felt material that's kind of speckled or calico textured. That stuff absorbs water like a wick. Once that's wet, you might as well just throw it away. And naturally with moistures in one spot, it'll cause metal to rust. So in its place, I use this. So I ain't putting that matting back, because if it should ever leak, I don't want that getting soaked. If it leaks right here, water will travel through that medium and it'll just go pretty much everywhere. At least in my experience, that's how it is. So if you're ever doing carpet, just rip that shit out. You don't really need it. If you want to put something between the carpet and the metal, use this or rubber floor mats. So now that I got all this cleared out, it'll be easier working on the carpet when it gets here, hopefully this week. My carpet came today. It's Tuesday, but arrived in the morning, but didn't find out till just recently, believing this would come later this week, but it's here today, so that's surprising. Look at that. Perfect color and a perfect texture. You couldn't do that with the last carpet I ordered. It had the right color to it, the right shape, and not the right texture. It's got that shag that I'm so familiar with older cars. It's actually quite enjoyable to touch, actually. It's got that free-flowing shag texture that I so desperately wanted. You just couldn't get with that other carpet. Just couldn't live with that. But this will do just right. It's the right shade. The carpet outlet store that I bought this from, it's like, the color's called Passion something. It's really fancy, but really it's just burgundy. It's like a burgundy color, which is perfect. The backing, well, I thought about using double-sided Velcro tape. You know, Velcro here, Velcro on the floor. Press it on, but I don't think that's going to work or stick too well, so I'll have to probably use some industrial strength adhesive spray glue. You know, I have like stuff you use for headliners, but stronger material. Now, how I figure this is going to work, I'm just going to lay it out in a straight line right at that dent there, or that right there, that's the marker. Because if you look at the transmission tunnel straight on, it's relatively uniform up until that ridge right there, and it just gets wider as it progresses on. If I just overlaid carpet straight over, it would do that familiar lasagna wrinkle. So I'm gonna do right here, just straight across where it's flush up with this ridge here, and I'll stop short, and then I'll go from like that all the way down up to here, and just go, and I'll stop short to that ridge on that side, so just be like a flat, mostly a flat surface going over that arch. In theory, that should work. And on the edges here, I'll make that its own separate piece. It'll be easy to control. And then I'll make this a separate piece. And that, so probably one big piece, 2, 3, probably 5, 7 pieces this is going to be made up in. I'll use that adhesive spray in areas that needs it. And as for the bolt holes, I'm just going to use a hole saw right over it. That way you can't miss. So I'm going to start cutting and fabricating, and we'll take it one piece at a time. House carpet. It's the only way to go for luxury looks. Measure 5 million times, cut once. But hey, if it gets the carpet to look good, so be it. It's not doing that lasagna noodle thing. It's not wrinkling. It's just laying on the floor like it should. I decided to go in rows or sections from the very flat to the other side of the very flat. When I get to the point where I get the whole main floor done, when I get to the sides, I'll just do a long strip that goes from here to there and just fold it over. Figured that'd be the easiest way to go. But I got this one section done, 23 inches wide by 57 inches. And my next section's gonna tuck underneath here and go all the way to that ridge right there. It's probably just short of 2 feet. Same process, side to side. And a little tech tip for you. If you want to get the bolt to go through the carpet without using a box cutter. Just lay the carpet over the bolts that are already threaded in. Feel with your thumb. Where you find the spot, just take a hole saw without a pilot screw or pilot drill bit. Put it on the carpet and go in reverse. So you going forward, you're just going to snag it and make it worse. If you go in reverse, you just grind your way through. And out comes the thread tail, or the bolt tail of it. Put a washer on there, tighten it down, and the carpet ain't going nowhere. Do that for all of them. Makes it easier, makes it a little more streamlined and clean. Got a lot of these flying around, so shop vac's going to be in order. When you lay down carpet, put your bolts down first. That way you can use the tip that I suggested. Use a hole saw and press down where you feel the tip of it. Grind it through and it just pops out. And you can just thread the nut on there and it'll hold the carpet down. So now my next move is just to go side to side. Measure how far that ridge is to there. Cut the piece out and lay it down. It's looking good now. Second part went like the first, except a little bit easier. Got the bolts through the carpet just fine. Use a hole saw in reverse, never in forward, or you'll snag the carpet. Just grind it through. Yeah, on camera, it's not really doing the color justice. It's a really nice, rich red looking at it, but on camera it's kind of like maybe a purplish. But it's a decent red nonetheless. Now here's where it gets tricky. Doing that side, the under the dash part of it, because it's going to be, I'm not sure how many pieces I'll be doing this in. But I'm thinking, just looking at it, one piece here, one over the hump, third piece, just to get it to contour. But I'll just keep moving forward. I may end up changing an idea and do something else. So I'm going to look at it a bit and figure out what to do and go from there. I decided to go with the middle, the hump, and then work on the sides. Now just overlap it or underlap it, however it looks the best, and just fill in the gaps. So I'll do one spot, second spot, third spot. Just break it up into smaller pieces so it's easy to manage. Looking pretty good. Now to fill this spot, I'll work on the other one over there. We'll see where we're at that point. Starting to look like something now. I even did the whole trick for the kickdown switch for the brights. Maybe trim a little excess where it overlaps. Just there ain't so much of a ridge that you feel stepping on it. But I'll do that after all this is done. Small trim pieces I'll just cut off. That looks pretty good. I'm also have a big floor mat on this as well, so that'll cover the border lines. The seats will cover this. I'm gonna start looking around if they make like edge guards for carpets you can just slip on and crimp. That will keep the stuff from like unraveling. I'm sure they make something like that. I have to look around. Last part is in. Looks pretty good. Just got it laying down there flat. Got all the wrinkles out. Some minor adjustments to make it look more clean. Other than that, it looks pretty good. When I lay down the floor mats, I'll make it more discreet. Need some vacuuming, but I just got the edges to do now. That's pretty simple. What you're looking at here is the hard part. The edges will be pretty simple. It's just a 90-degree bend. All the way around, it's just a matter of getting the length, tucking it in and fold down, and that's about it.